What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Decap, and today we're going to be talking about how I went from Silver 2 to Diamond MMR in only one act. And as always, if you like this type of content, please give it a like, give it a subscribe, as both of those things are free. And you know what else is free? This transition. Alright, so just starting off the bat, first thing we're going to talk about is obviously the meta. That's very much an important thing as we go through this act, as things change, as champions get rebalanced, and things start to come in and out of the meta. These things are important to know. We talk about mastery, we talk about knowing your champion. These are things that have to be of high importance if you want to be able to climb. Now, specifically when we talk about the meta, I'm talking about Duelists. As everyone knows, probably get into a ranked game and you start talking about Duelists and everyone wants to play one. Everyone thinks I need to play Reyna because they get into the mentality of carrying. And let's be honest, if you are in these lower elo games, that's probably true. You probably are going to need a Reyna that's confident enough to pop off, get a good 1 or 2 kills, and being able to dismiss and to help the team secure the round. What we're not talking about is limiting yourself in such a way that if there are no duelists available for you to play, that you simply lose the game and you don't really know what you're doing. What I'm talking about is knowing what is strong on what map and playing to those things and the advantages, such as playing Sage on Icebox, playing Omen on Bind, and things like that. If no one has picked those champs, you might want to consider learning them because these maps are going to come up and you might be put in those scenarios more than you think. As someone who likes to play duelists, I also very much know how to play a Cypher and play an Omen just in case my team needs one. Does that mean I'm the best and that I completely know every little thing about each little champion? No. What it does mean, I can do my job and I can do it well enough to where I can secure my team to win and not hold them back from, the game. Another thing on this list is mastery. Let's say you're really good at Sova and you really want to be able to play it to the full extent that you can. Go ahead and watch some videos on how to get better at him and lineups that are really good for him. I use him as an example because I think he has the biggest skill disparity between lower ranks and higher ranks because people can play him differently. How to use his drone, you can drone off people off a site. Shock darts are obviously the most broken thing in the game, so things like that where you can spend time learning and spend time getting better at this champ, even in your own time, and not having to worry about what your teammates are doing. Obviously, when we talk about someone like Sova, you do need to have that duelist that can go in and kill, but if you're doing your part of the match, then that's really all that you can control. You can only really be in control of things that you are good at and things that you can set your team up with. Along those same lines, second point is doing too much. And I know this may come to you as a surprise, but whenever we're in these lower ranked games, people try to do too much with their champion and because they see a clip, they see a TikTok or something like that, and they just want to go ahead and do that play to show that they're the best. I'm talking about something as simple as Omen, where people don't smoke the bomb, they don't smoke defaults, stuff like that, where they're just trying to think too much and trying to outplay the enemy too much that they end up outplaying themselves. When it comes to these lower elo games and you want to be able to climb, stick to what you know and stick to defaults. There's a reason why people plant in certain spots and people do these certain things. It's because it has the highest percentage of winning when you do that. Yes, I know some of you may be scared that they may have a molly on default, or you may be shock darted from like halfway across the map, but let's be honest, when you're in these lower type of games, people aren't going to do that. Along the same lines of doing too much, just make sure that you are calming with your teammates and you're not trying to go 1v5 someone just because you're playing a duelist. A lot of times, a duelist's strongest thing is that they can create space for the team, and that means making sure that you can clear out a spot so that your team can walk in. If you're playing Raze and you try and double satchel backside and bind and stuff like that, sure, it may look cool and sure you may get the job done, but a lot of times your team may be scared because what if they get peeked from elbow and they get peeked from pocket and stuff like that, and they probably won't follow up with you, and it's not because they're scared, it's because simply they can't do the movement that you have. And so being able to use your space wisely and be able to create space for your teammates is very important, rather than just going for the cool play and double satcheling and ulting and stuff like that. Yeah, the third real tip is something that I think everyone should be doing now, and it's obviously the warm-up routine and how to use aim labs. Along these similar lines, later on I'm going to talk about higher DPI, but I just wanted to let you all know that I consistently use aim lab for about 3 months throughout my time of playing Valorant, and I've seen significant improvement. First off, just when we started playing aim labs and I started getting into Valorant and I wanted to practice some more, I was averaging around 55k in grid shot, and I could only really use that to the best of my ability. As time goes on and I started to use aimlab even more and more, I see even now my averages are from 75k to around 85k. And so I know that is a very significant improvement, and it has to do with a lot of things that I changed in my settings. So with aimlab, yes, I use it every single time before I play. In between matches, if I lose a game, I go ahead and aimlab and I feel like I wasn't hitting people, I'll go ahead and throw up a grid shot game. You can throw a micro shot in there if you really want to work on the little movements, but for the most part, Valorant is a very much a game where you have to move your mouse a lot, and so people tend to just get caught up in these slow DPIs and they don't turn fast enough, and especially in lower elos, they're looking at the ground, and they take forever just to do a simple 180. So things like that, definitely consider hopping into aim labs and testing out your settings, trying to aim for about 60k and get the highest amount of accuracy that you can, and then obviously increase that slowly and surely and trying to get faster and faster. Along these lines, one of the things that definitely helped me within this last act is me changing to a higher sensitivity and hiring up my DPI. I personally never played another tactical FPS on the computer. I used to be very much a controller player, but more recently I increased my sense and changed the DPI on my mouse, and definitely helped me in a game like Valorant. I know this can be something that's very much annoying to deal with, and it may be hard to adjust at first, but again, that's why things like aim lab and those shooting scenarios kind of exist, so that way you can test out your skills and test out if you need to lower it a bit, if you need to higher it a bit. I'll definitely get to the point where you can 180 with just one swipe of your mouse, but also you want to change it incrementally so that way you can work on the new sensitivity and not be completely overwhelmed by it. It took me about until halfway through the act to fully get comfortable with my new DPI and sensitivity, but it does help, and I definitely seen significant improvement in my ability to play Raze and Reyna. Alright, now that we moved out of that little scenario, we're going to talk about friends and the people that you queue with. It comes to no surprise that if you want to be able to climb in this game, you're going to need someone that's a little bit above your skill level, or someone that's on your skill level that's willing to dedicate time to this game. For someone like me, I had Snowda who wanted to play this game a lot, and he was able to reach Diamond as well. And we consistently just worked on what we were bad at, worked on what we were good at, and just fed off of each other. We both like to play Duelists, but we both realized that that can't really work for our team whenever we just both auto-lock, so I ended up picking up Omen sometimes, and he ends up picking up, Sage or Brimstone or Killjoy, and we kind of just play what the team needs. Obviously, we were both at this higher level because we dedicated our time to it, but also at the same time, we were willing to play with each other, kind of feed off each other, give each other comms when our teammates weren't doing, and it just makes the game a lot more enjoyable. If you're having fun with it and you're both getting better at the same time, then it makes the game more enjoyable and you're more willing to grind those long hours of playing Valorant. We're going to talk about dodging, and dodging is very much an important thing that I used to personally not like, but I do see why it's become more and more. So, recently they took away that you could see your teammates' rank, which obviously I think it's because dodging was very much a very prevalent thing. Yeah, if you're playing on a map where you see 4 duelists are instantly locked, please dodge. No one wants to play in a game where you have to play smokes, and let's be honest, you probably don't even know how to play smokes, or you don't even know how to play Brim or Omen, so you ended up just either taking the loss or just sucking it up and, ego challenging everything. So, instead of doing that, and instead of costing you LP, you just dodge. You can simply just exit the game and you won't lose any RR. You might lose 3 with this new update, but still it's a lot better than losing the 25 to 26 that you might have done from going 0-12 and then, having 2 duelists that just feed every single game. It's something that's called the win streak and losing streak. If you recognize that you are constantly winning your games, go ahead and give yourself some more time until you lose. Being able to go on those large win streaks definitely help because you probably are getting the momentum down, you're probably getting your character down, and your aim is probably on point. And you don't want to just stop yourself short when you have those moments that you're playing well. Obviously, if you're limited with school, if you're limited with the time that you have, please use it wisely and stay on a positive mentality about the way that you're playing the game. But if you have that extra time and you're on a win streak, continue to play, continue to focus on what you're doing good, maybe record some of your gameplay and look back and see, oh my gosh, I did this in this game and that really helped me, or when I calmed this, it definitely changed the round and stuff like that. It's good to just stop and analyze what you've been doing good when you are on a winning streak. On the exact opposite of that, it's very much important for us to realize when we're on a losing streak and when we need to stop playing and give ourselves a mental break. Personally, what I like to do is just go into aim labs, play a few of those, walk around, come back in my chair, watch a TV show, throw on some music or something like that before I get into another game. I know that if I lose the game vastly, like it's 1-12 or it's 2-14 or something like that, then I just get tilted and I just want to start the next game right away. It's probably best that you stop, recognize that you're not playing well, and take it up another day. Valorant will always be there for you tomorrow, so don't worry about trying to rush to your goal in just one day. And that's pretty much it. There was nothing really special that I really did. There wasn't no crazy strat that me and Snowda tried or anything like that. We consistently just played the game a lot. That's probably another thing I guess we could add towards the end, but that's just a matter of just playing the game, and obviously with that comes more and more practice. If you notice, I'll show a picture of the rank that I'm talking about versus the rank that I am now, and you can just see the amount of games that I played is almost tripled, if not quadrupled. And that's simply because I recognized that I was getting better, and I simply got that excitement of, ooh, I knew I can be Diamond, or I knew I can almost reach that. So obviously just play the game. It's going to be the biggest teacher about things you need to work on and things that you're good at. And I wish there was a way around it because I used to hate playing so much, but now that I've seen the improvement, it makes me want to play even more. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks.